I recently did an unboxing, first impressions, and setup video for both the $80 Shimano Caius and the $129 Shimano SLX XT. However, I've yet to fish with either of these reels, so that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna film the first cast with both of these. It's cast test time. I'm gonna go out on the water, make the first cast ever with both of these reels, give you guys my first on the water impressions, tell you guys what I think about them. Maybe we'll give them a little rating, and I'll just go over my experience as I fish both of these new entry-level Shimano Baitcasters for the first time. I'm really excited to get these things on the water, and I don't think we should wait any longer. So let's rip off, go launch the boat, and make our first ever cast with the Shimano Caius and the Shimano SLX XT. All right, welcome to the on the water portion of the video. Got a couple things going on out here today. Got the Aussie tied on. I'm gonna play around with it. But also, as promised, we're gonna be testing out the new $80 Shimano, the Shimano Caius, as well as the SLX XT. First cast ever with both of these reels for me personally going down in this video, and I'll let you guys know what I think about them. First ever cast test with the $80 Shimano. Entry level Shimano Caius, 150 HG, 7.2 to 1, straight braid with the new 6 cent scramble. It's not a prop bait season, but we're gonna throw some top water to test this thing out for the first time anyway. Let's just see what we think about the $80 Shimano. First ever unfiltered cast test right now. Let's do it. All right. Seems smooth enough. No external brake settings. I just have it set up exactly how it was from the factory with little to no spool tension. I mean, I like my spool tension loose. Whatever the brakes come set at from Shimano, that's where it is. Let's bomb one. Dude, that thing freaking casts nice. First cast, first impressions, far exceeded my expectations for an $80 Baitcaster. I mean, it freaking bombed it out there, dude. I almost spooled it out. I almost spooled the dang thing out. Let's try a little bit into the wind. Okay, there's a little back. I got a little nutty with it right there. Flung her a little too hard. Lashed it a little bit on the second cast. That's okay. We'll get this picked out, and then we'll be a little bit more careful because I did just zing. I threw a zinger right there. That was all me. So there you go. You know, got to be a little, you know, not so violent with it. That's okay. Not as bad as it could have been, honestly. Not bad at all. Just a little bit of a backlash there into the braid, but we're good. Got my bait all boogered up. Let's get this untangled. Since I am going to cast a little bit into the wind, I'm going to do like just like a 1/16th of a turn on the spool tension. There we go. Just thumb it a little more. Good to go. The wind caught it hard that time too. No problem. I'm going to be astonished if I get bit on this thing. Also, the first time throwing the new 6 cent Scramble 106. You can get this at Dick's. Coming to the website soon. Thing is freaking spitting. It was straight into the wind right there. Yeah, you got to thumb it, especially if you're gonna run like 0 spool tension. Other than that, man, this thing feels great. Just controlling the spool with my thumb. Cautiously. Let's go with the wind. Bomb it. Look at that. Look at that, dude. 3/4 of the spool gone. This reel is next level for $80. Why have I been spending freaking $400 on Metaniums and $200 on Corrados when I got this $80 Caius right here? I am pleasantly surprised. I did not know how this was gonna go. Straight into the wind. I can feel it wanting to overrun a little bit, but again, I'm running virtually no spool tension. So I could tighten that tension down and mitigate some of that, but I like running it loose. The reason being, when I'm reeling it back in, it just feels so much smoother, so much lighter. The reel handle turns so much easier when I have that spool tension all the way off. awesome, dude. I am pleasantly freaking surprised with this Shimano Caius. I had a lot of you guys tell me that y'all really like the ones that y'all have in the comment section. A little shorter sidearm stuff. You can hear my thumb on the braid. You know, I'm controlling the spool speed, just keeping barely any pressure. But it's really not even difficult to control. I'm so stoked on this reel. This is a perfect reel for topwater. You don't need anything more than this. If you're throwing straight braid, frogging, plopping, whatever it is, you do not need anything more than this right here. This thing is sick. Shimano Caius, I'm gonna give this thing like a 8.5, 9 out of 10 rating. It's so nice for the price. The value is, okay, now there was another one. There was another one. I got a little happy with it. Still not bad though. It's not blowing it up. Just a little bit of overrun right there. Got into the wind a little and it, you know, players mess up. That's not bad at all right there, dude. There we go, no problem. Stoked on this reel. I should not be fishing topwater right now. Water temps are freaking 53 degrees. Hey, you never know, a dumb one might come up and hit it. I'm actually pretty freaking stoked on how this thing feels, if you guys couldn't tell. Look at that. Casting distance. The distance is what's surprising me, even against the wind. But if you're going just with the wind a little bit, this thing freaking send it, dude. It sails. Let's do another one. Let's do another long one. Here we go. Look at that. You guys see that? My Lord. This thing is sick. This thing is sick. We're about to do the real test though with this SLX XT. That's that one. Got straight brand new fluorocarbon on there. I think it's 12 pounds fluorocarbon, 12 or 15. All right, first impressions of the Caius, money. If you're looking for a budget entry-level baitcaster, Shimano Caius. This thing is sick for 80 bucks. Look at that. I mean, I'm not even putting too much mustard on it. I'm just making a normal cast and it is freaking sailing it. Also stoked on the Scramble 106. I'm liking what I'm seeing. This thing spits water up into the air so high. Look at that. And the sound, it's like a higher pitched plop, if you want to call it that. It's like a kind of sounds a little bit like a buzz bait, more like a buzz bait than a plopper. It's like a the bait is like plopper profile, but the sound is like a metal bladed buzz bait. You guys can hear that? It's got a little bit of a plop to it, but it's mostly like it sounds like a buzz bait. That's really cool, man. I would be so stoked if one came up and just smashed this. They're not going to though. It's not topwater season. Yeah. All right. Let's move on around the corner. Get to an area that could potentially hold some fish and throw this SLX XT for the first time. This right here though, this bad boy, dude, if you were on the fence about this one, drop the 80. Drop the 80 on it, get it, you will not be disappointed. Especially if you're throwing straight braid, topwater style. That right there is a heater. If you want to see the full unboxing, first impressions, and setup video, that's here on the channel for you. If I remember, I'll link it down below in the description, but just go on the channel and search Shimano Caius, $80 Shimano. You'll find the video. But that right there, man, pleasantly surprised. That's a winner. That's a straight up doggone winner of a heater reel right there, dude. Nice. All right. Back over here in the pocket. Pick up this SLX XTA. I had a couple people tell me they didn't like this one. Let me see. I'm gonna make sure I got my brakes on about halfway because I don't want to blow up this brand new fluoro. Tighten that tension down just a touch. First cast is gonna be with the wind, and then we'll do some running against the wind type stuff. See what happens. Oh no, that's freaking money. That's butter. Throwing a little PD4 square bill, super light bait. Oh yeah. Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Yeah, this one's where it's at right here. With the wind, I mean against the wind. Okay, against the wind, had a little trouble. Same as the last one. Put a little bit too much stank on it, didn't control it enough, but not bad. I'm gonna be able to pick this out really easily. I'm not a pro here, guys. I'm like, you know, amateur to intermediate style bass angler. I make mistakes. I'm leaving it in. Don't cut it out the video. There it was. Not bad. Not a bad overrun there. Glad I didn't blow up my fluorocarbon. That was straight into the wind, so it's kind of tough with the lighter baits straight into the wind. Should probably turn my brakes up, tighten the tension, but I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to try to control it with my thumb and make sure I don't put too much mustard on it. There we go. Nope, nope, nope. Come on. A little bit better. A little bit better. Just a slight overrun. No backlash though. Yeah, that one wasn't bad at all. Just gotta get it together a little bit more and we'll be good. So this one's a little bit more finicky, especially with light fluorocarbon into the wind. You got to be careful there. Let's just kind of go back out this way, see what happens. You can hear my thumb on the spool there, controlling it, no issue when I'm not casting directly against the wind. So I think what I'm going to do is head up shallow and just fish this thing for a minute, see if we can get bit. I don't think I'm going to get bit on top water, but square bill, we got a chance. Do a little side arm roll casting around this dock. Left-handed. Nice, very smooth reel. It is super smooth. I mean, it's on par with my more expensive Shimanos, if I'm being honest. It's on par, guys. Shimano SLX XT, not bad. So far, I'm gonna give it a quick rating, quick first impressions rating. I'm gonna go like, the tension could be on the tension on the reel could be a little bit smoother. I'm gonna go like 7.5, 8. 8.5 on this thing, somewhere between there, somewhere between like a 7 and an 8. I ain't mad at it though. And it looks freaking sick. SLX XT 6.3 to 1. Let's get up here, on the banks. Let's grind this square bill around, see if we can find one that wants to eat. See, the problem is I'm casting pretty much directly into the wind right here, so I know I'm gonna have issues. But who doesn't have issues casting directly into the wind with a freaking brand new baitcaster or brand new fluorocarbon? I mean, come on, buddy, I ain't no pro. I ain't no freaking Min Billiken out here, and it's still 10 plus miles an hour right here. So I don't know. I think if I get out of this brutal wind, I don't know if you can see the flags up there, but they're just ripping. I think if I get out of this brutal wind, it's going to be a non-issue. There we go. Turn the brakes up just a little bit and it handled it just fine. Yeah, I'm going to give the SLX XT a solid 8 out of 10. First impressions. You know, that could change, subject to change over time. The more I fish with it, it's, you know, a little bit more advanced, especially if you're throwing light fluorocarbons straight off into the wind with a light bait. You're gonna have to control it a little bit more, or turn the brakes and the tension up, which is something I'm kind of hard-headed about, and I kind of don't do as I should. A lot of the time I'll kind of stubbornly leave them loose until I kind of figure out the appropriate thumbing technique, which is okay. You can do it like I'm doing it. It's not blowing up too bad when I do mess up to where I have to like re-spool and mess up my whole fluorocarbon. Not saying that it's good to overrun or to backlash a little bit. It's definitely not a good thing, but it's all my fault because I'm like refusing to turn the brakes or the tension up in the wind. That's okay. It's very smooth. It's a very, very smooth reel. All right, there we go. Nice. So there it is, guys. First impressions of the Caius and the SLX XT. I'm giving that Caius a 9 out of 10 so far. For what I've used it for, 9 out of 10. SLX XT, 7.5 to 8 out of 10. A little bit more of an advanced reel, especially for the lighter baits. Not handling it quite as well as I would like it to, but still not bad at all. And I'm fishing in some gnarly wind, so I can't really be too hard on it. Really, I'm deducting just a little bit because it's not quite as smooth on the retrieve as some of my other Shimanos. That's it. Still a very nice reel. You will probably not even notice. I'm of course like nitpicking and trying to be brutally honest, because let's just be real, man. 10 out of 10, like what reel is a 10 out of 10? I feel like even my Metanium is like a 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10 for what it is. So I think the only reel I would give even close to a 10, like a 9.5, is my Bantam. I love that reel. Those are expensive, higher end baitcasters. This right here for sub $200, I think it's 130 bucks. Yeah, $129. This thing is money. This is money, dude. For just a little bit more than the Caius, you can have a little bit more adjustability, a little bit more brake control, external brake control. You know, it looks so sick on a heater rod. You guys check out sixthsensefishing.com for my signature heater series fishing rods. This is a 6.9 medium moderate, my most used heater right here that I'm throwing this pressure series chartreuse crappie PD4 on. But I'm stoked on both of these new reels. Would I buy again? Yes. Would I recommend? Yes. Shimano does it again. 2 really nice additions to their lineup. Blown away by the Caius. Absolutely satisfied with the SLX XT. It feels really on par and similar to my SLX MGL 70s, if I'm being honest. Wind got me there just a little bit. I can't tell much of a difference between this and the SLX MGL, other than the MGL is just a little bit smoother on that retrieve, but that's it. This one's just a little bit tighter, a little bit more tight on the reel handle. And I could like take this tension all the way off probably and mitigate some of that, but I'm not trying to ruin this brand new fluorocarbon. So there it is, man. There's my first impressions, first assessment of the Shimano Caius, the $80 Shimano, and the SLX XT, one of the newer reels in the SLX lineup. Both of these reels have been updated recently. Both of these reels are newer. At least the Caius has been updated. The SLX XT new. But that right there, that's an excellent pairing. Excellent setup. Stoked on both of these, dude. Stoked on both of these. Really love this one. Out of the two, if I could only get one, I'd probably just get this one again. 80 bucks. Killer reel. This one's a little bit more, you know, a little bit more adjustability. I'm in that like 8.5, 9 out of 10 over here. I'm in that like 7.5, 8 out of 10 over here on the SLX. But killer reels. Stoked on them both. Definitely keeping them both on the deck of the boat. But I'm going to keep fishing. No, I just got out here. I'm just testing some new reels, really.
Okay, I'm always curious.
Yeah, man. How you doing today?
One of those jealous shore bounties.
Hey, dude, everybody out here wants to get up there, and everybody up there wants to get out here. There's a lot of those in here.
You got to get through the dinks to get to the donkeys, brother. Yeah. Catch them all, catch them small. He said I catch my, right on those red and white fish. What's your name, brother?
Oh, Chris.
I'm Justin. Chris, nice to meet you.
Hey,
Have a good one, brother.
you too, man. Good luck.
Yeah, good to meet you.
Up on the SLX XT. On square bill. Nice, large amount, starting today. Oh, it's a freaking tank quad. Heck yeah, dude. That out. Nice. Guadalupe bass on the PD4. Now, oh, put my phone right here. Now there's an official reel test for the SLX. Hooked up, got it to the boat, felt good. Heck yeah, man, that's nice, nice. Chartreuse crappie PD4 to the face. Right. All right, there that was, guys. First up, the $80 entry-level Shimano Caius that I have spooled up with straight braid. Throwing the new Scramble 106 from 6 cents. This right here, it knocked my socks off, man. It really surprised me with how smooth this thing casts. The distance that I was able to get out of the cast, both with and especially against the wind. This thing just performed awesome. I don't really have much bad to say about it. It doesn't have external braking adjustment, but as far as I'm concerned, for what I'm using it for especially, it doesn't need it. I was running the spool tension on practically nothing, maybe a level 1, just barely a little bit of spool tension, and I was absolutely bombing this little 110-ish millimeter topwater prop style bait, and I was almost spooling it out. I practically casted all the line off the reel, and I was so stoked on the way this reel felt. It looks amazing. The price point is chef's kiss, 80 bucks, entry level Shimano, worth every penny in my humble opinion. You guys check out the Caius if you're looking for a baitcaster from Shimano that won't break the bank and you want to get into, you know, throwing the Shimanos. This is an excellent place to start. Awesome budget friendly reel that performed really well. Just really surprised me. Took me by surprise. Really stoked on this one. I'm going to keep fishing with this, man. Like, this is going to remain on the deck of the boat. Now let's talk about the SLX XTA. You guys probably noticed I had a little bit of trouble with this one because, as mentioned, I'm a little hard-headed. I got this tangled up in this freaking A-rig. 6 cents finesse A-rig coming soon. I keep talking about that, but back to the reel. The SLX XTA, you know, I had a little bit of trouble with it out there in the wind, throwing a really light square bill on 12-pound fluorocarbon line. But I will say that after the camera kicked off, my chest rig died. After the camera kicked off, I applied just a little bit of spool tension and, you know, got out of my hard-headedness, rolled that tension up a little bit, and it started performing really well for me, especially after the cameras kicked off. So I want you guys to be aware of that. While I did backlash it multiple times on camera there, I had the brakes on halfway and the spool tension on 0. So with these modern Shimanos, there's a lot of adjustment. They're really finicky, but they give you the ability to fine tune them. And Shimano does recommend you running the spool tension at a tighter level. Even the manual says that. I have people telling me in the comments, hey, you're supposed to run the spool tension like this. It's personal preference for me to run it super loose. On the SLX XTA, me personally throwing this lighter bait into the wind, I did have to crank that spool tension up a little bit. Not all the way. It's not tight by any means. But once I applied a little bit more tension, I started getting really good, accurate, long casts without having any more backlashes. So I do want to mention that. You know, I gave, I forgot to talk about the rating. I gave this one like an 8.5, 9 out of 10. This right here for the money. Now, I'm not saying it's like better than like a Metanium or a Corrado or a Bantam, but for the price, all things considered, at that price point for $80, this is like a 9 out of 10. Awesome. This one I gave like a 7.58. I think I'm gonna stick to that. A little bit finickier. And the reason that I don't give it that 8.59 is because on the retrieve, the turning of the reel handle just feels a little bit, to me, at least on this one, just slightly gummy. It's not quite as smooth as my Corrados, some of my other MGL type reels. Still a very nice reel. I'm nitpicking here, guys. Once I applied that spool tension and I stopped backlashing this thing, I had a lot of fun fishing with it. And I even caught a decent little quad there at the end that you guys saw. So I'm gonna hold that at 8 out of 10 on the SLX XTA, $129, still worth every penny. Also gonna keep this one in the lineup, keep fishing with it, keep putting both of these reels through the paces, and I'll keep you guys updated on my experiences going forward. Of course, I've only, fished these two baits with these two reels, the top water on the braid with the Caius, and then the lighter line with the square bill on the SLX, but both performed really well. Both feel really nice, and the SLX XT especially, it feels like a higher end reel. It feels like a reel that you would expect to pay more than $129 for. It honestly is right up there with my SLX MGLs. It seems like a $180 to $200 Baitcaster, but it's not. So for $129, you get the adjustability, you get some of the updated technology, the SVS Infinity, and just the better braking system, better components. So if you want to spend a little bit more and you want to get into a Baitcaster with a little bit more fine-tuning capability and a little bit more upgraded components, the SLX XT, excellent way to go. This is like 2 jumps up from the Caius. I believe the SLX, one of the SLXs is like 99 bucks. You can get another Shimano for $99, but I wanted to try the SLX XTA, one of their newer reels. So I grabbed the one and we went out and we put it to the test. The Caius blew me away. 9 out of 10 for the price right here. 80 bucks, 129, 8 out of 10 on the SLX XTA. And I hope this video maybe helped you guys make a decision if you were looking to pick up a new Baitcaster. Maybe you were considering between these two. Those were my experiences, man. Unfiltered, unedited, backlashes and overruns at all. I'm not a professional. I'm not the best when it comes to casting a baitcast. I do have a lot of experience, and most of the time I do pretty well. Took me a while to get this one figured out, but once I set my hard-headedness and my stubbornness aside and rolled that spool tension up just a little bit more, it started getting efficient. I started making casts without having any trouble, and I did have a lot of fun fishing both of these reels. Can't wait for topwater season to roll around so I can smash the first fish on this one. That Guadalupe bass that we caught on this one felt great, kept him pinned, performed really well, and I'm going to continue throwing this style of bait with the SLX XT. It wasn't enough to make me want to change it up and put something else on it, use it for something different. Like I said, just a little bit more spool tension, maybe a little bit more braking power if you have trouble casting this thing like I was. And I actually had people tell me in the comment section on my first impressions and unboxing video of this reel that they could never get it quite dialed in the way they wanted it. And I could see how that would be the case. For me, I was finally able to get it tuned up and to get it singing properly after the camera on my chest shut off. So yeah, stoked on both these reels. Hopefully this video helped you guys get a little bit better impression of how these reels perform, at least for me, an amateur / intermediate bass angler. Definitely not a pro. I definitely still backlash. I make mistakes out there on the water, and fishing gear can be finicky, and that's just part of bass fishing. Anybody who tells you they never backlash is probably bull squashing you. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this cast test. 9 out of 10 on the Caius, 8 out of 10 on the SLX XT. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Check out the Heater Series rods on 6centsfishing.com. Was throwing the scramble on the 7.4 medium heavy mod fast. This rod paired up perfectly with this bait, and then of course you hear me singing praises for the 6.9 medium moderate heater all the time. That's my #1 go-to, especially for square bills, lighter baits. And both of these Shimano reels were awesome. Had a lot of fun. Subscribe to the channel, click the thumbs up button if this helped you. Shout outs to the almighty Heater Army. You see those names rolling across the screen right here. These people help us do what we do. by being channel members and supporting on a month-by-month basis, and best believe I could not do it without them. Thank you to the almighty Heater Army. You guys can click that top link down below in the video description if you want to become a Heater Army member yourself. But that's about all I got for you today. That about does it. That about wraps her on up. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I will see you on the next one. Later.